Hi guys, welcome back to Queertine Chats with me, Stephen. Our guest this week is a recently qualified teacher, and if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm April. I am Stephen's cousin, and well, I'm almost qualified. I'll be qualified on Monday, hopefully.
Look, they can't take it away from you now. That just feels fucking vegan after going through this whole pandemic, teaching all them kiddies.
That's true.
Perfect. As we do on most of these, it's a new thing. I suppose we'll give Helena the announcement first. She did give this quick fire round of thing.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is obviously have a chat today. As April has mentioned, she's a teacher, so we have a couple of different topics that we're going to have a chat about, and just see how the talk goes. But we'll have the quick fire round so you can just get to know April and me a little bit quicker, or a little bit better English. You know, I had a beer last night. But yeah, so we'll just start with the quick round. And then April, are you ready? Right, so question number one would be, what's your biggest fear?
Snakes.
Why? They're so...
I don't know, and apparently it's the only animal in the world that you may not have been in contact with, but you're afraid of. I don't know what it is. They freak me out.
I think I was at one of the circuses when I was younger, and I had one, and I had a yellow one. Let me still have that picture, I think. Big pythons.
Yeah, like when they used to be in the circus, like I wouldn't go near them. I touched one once and I thought that would help me, but no, I hate them. Like even my skin is crawling thinking about it.
What about tarantula?
No. Move on, next question.
Can you understand your pain there? Because even if I go like that on his left, it's hilarious. I'm very annoyed. Right, so question number two, what's your favourite food?
This is tough because it depends on my mood as well, but at the end of the day, I always love my mammy's roast dinner.
Well, I have a Mary roast, it's quite good. I'd be
and
with Mum. Huh?
Daddy's potatoes, mashed potatoes.
He does make good mash. I love my mum's lasagna. I've tried to make it. Well, I've been now at home nearly 4 years now. Do you fucking think I can make it? She's given me the recipe, tells me how she does it. It doesn't taste the same. It is, I think, more in your head when your parents cook it. That tastes better. It's just because it's prepared by someone else. Now, they're probably putting something in and not telling us because I'm full on taking my man in. But, you know, that's my own conspiracy theory.
She probably isn't telling you something.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's like, I can't do that. But yeah, oh no, I want lasagna. We did have pizza last night. We ordered pizza at like 12 o'clock, you know.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Sitting behind me, it's very sad. So number three is the worst place to get stuck.
Motorway.
Oh yeah, motorway. Yeah.
Like, everything is so far away, like. And even the phones that are available on the motorway actually are far away. There's only one every whatever kilometers or miles, like.
Yeah, I noticed that before. When the last time I was coming down my aunt, I think, the last time we were coming down to something, I think it was William's going away party before he went to Australia. We were killing in the car. Yeah. We'd had an argument with some shit, so I was looking out the window. They are like really far apart. So like if you do break down, your car's on fire, like you have to run really far. Yeah, we were watching something. Yeah. Killian had something on the other evening, and it started on the motorway, and I was like,
no,
don't like that.
I don't mind driving the motorway. Like I love driving, and I will drive a motorway, no problem. But to get stuck on one, that's a whole different issue. Like,
yeah, like my mom refuses to drive and stuff like that. She likes the country roads.
To be honest, I understand.
Oh yeah, well I say I understand too. I don't fucking drive. I can't. I can't legally, like I can drive a car. Like I used to drive tractors, everything, that kind of stuff, up on the farm. But I have license now. So like, do I want to get arrested?
No.
I think we want, but no. And then number 4 will be a morning or night person.
It depends. Like 2 weeks ago, I would have found it very hard to go up, and this week I'm waking up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, which is about an hour or two earlier. So I know I kind of go through phases of being both.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like if I'm working, I can be the morning person, but if I'm not working, I could very well stay up late. It kind of depends. Like when lockdown first happened, especially during the Easter holidays, like I went through a phase of not being able to sleep, and like there was one night I was awake till 5 o'clock in the morning. Like
I've had too many of them.
Oh, it's just I'm a bit of both. Like it kind of depends on what's going on in my life, really. It's not great being a night person all the time, though. It's very hard to go to sleep then, I find. So I prefer being a morning person.
I developed insomnia when I was younger because of it. Like when I used to do YouTube every day, like I was up till 4 or 5 in the morning, like editing and then
Oh,
going to
it's
sleep.
horrible.
Like, but now it's really weird. Like you know me, I used to stay up really late. Could do it up until this year. I can stay up till like my friend Gillian moved to Canada, so like just obviously the time difference.
Yeah.
Um, I can't stay up past 1:30 because she just streams on Twitch. I just fall asleep and I'm up by like 9, 10 o'clock. Some mornings 8. It's weird.
That is so strange.
Yeah, I don't know. And then the next one is tea or coffee. Look, I already know the answer to this one.
Tea. Tea.
You have a cup with her today?
No, it's actually over there somewhere. One of the girls got me a little cute mug during quarantine, but I have a little goal of 2 liters of water a day. So I don't. Well, I've had 2 cups of tea today, but I'm on the water, and then I let myself have tea. I'm really trying.
The exact same. Like it's like, oh, it's about 3 o'clock a day. She's had at least 3 cups of tea. I'm like, well, how? Like if I put tea on in the morning for breakfast, I'm like, who cares?
No, after in the evening now I don't really drink it because I find sometimes if I have tea in the evening time I will be kept awake. Like so. Yeah. No, I'm really trying with the water now.
Like I'd have to have coffee to do that to me, and I did that the other evening, and I had a panic attack. Don't fucking drink coffee.
Oh no, I don't drink coffee as much now. I'd kind of only drink coffee when I'm in school, and I'd only have 1 cup. But I'd have the Nescafe skinny lattes. They're divine. You mix them up in the cup, and I'd have 1, and that'd be it.
Yeah, no, I used to. I'm more tea person. And do you just drink Irish tea, as in like milk, sugar, and more, or do you?
Yeah. Well, no. I drink peppermint tea, actually. Sorry. I drink peppermint tea.
I live on it. So.
When I'm trying to like eat better and like maybe try to improve my skin. Last year when I was teaching, I was really good at drinking peppermint tea. But then what happens to me is I get a taste for tea because I put 1 spoon of sugar in it. So really I get a taste for the sugar. And that's it then, done.
Yeah, no, the peppermint tea, like I have issues, but like it's really good for that side of your body and your skin. Peppermint tea and green tea, like it really helps that. And I know when I was like, it's in our family, we all have fucking some sort of IBS or some shit. Like peppermint tea, so good with that. And it's tasty, like because like you only have a good cup of tea, it's lovely, but when you have a bad cup of tea, like you don't want to have tea for the rest of the day. But peppermint tea, like it goes hot water, you can't really fuck with it, like.
But you can, if the kettle has lime in it or anything like that, or like if a house has hard water and stuff, that affects their cup of tea. I don't care. And like if it's coming out of, those what are they? Do you know, at funerals they have them in the houses? Yeah, them. Like sometimes they don't come out as nice if the water hasn't heated up fully and all. So whether it's boiling water or not, it's a big deal.
Oh, definitely. That is like we could actually be with that for a while, especially about what's having worked in the restaurant industry. So the next question would be, what's your biggest addiction? Now this could be online chocolate.
Yeah. Obsessed with it. Like obsessed.
And is it just milk chocolate you like, or are you like granny and you love a bit of dark chocolate, or are you still in the lane of just the one chocolate?
No, I'm milk chocolate, but during the week I try to have 1 bar dark chocolate, like with mint in it. That's what I really like. Aldi do really, really nice ones. So I have, like this week I'm trying to eat well, and I have 1 of them a day. Whereas at the weekend now, I'll be like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. The little boy that loves chocolate in it. That'd be me.
Augustus, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
We watched that recently. Oh, do you know what we watched the other night? You have to watch it. Lilo and Stitch. It's on Disney Plus. My heart.
Oh, I love Lilo and Stitch.
And then we watched Hercules.
I've watched that in years.
I know. I just thought like it's the old nostalgia stuff. Like I love all the new films, but like some of the stuff. Like,
the old ones are better.
So much better. The next one would be, you're stuck on an island. So how I've changed this, you can bring 3 things. So technically things is a verb, so it could mean anything, just to Smith cleaner. Things could mean a human or an unnamed object.
Okay. I'm not going to bring any people because I think it'd be too hard to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could bring Shane because we've been together during lockdown and we've survived that, and that's kind of like being on an island. So I could bring Shane, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to bring an unlimited supply of chocolate, my laptop to play The Sims. Does my laptop charger count as another thing, or is that accompanied with the laptop?
Well, I suppose I suppose people when they do it, it's like your phone, like what if your phone dies? I suppose if we were to think about it, like it's a package deal, so a laptop comes with its plug because it needs plugs.
And probably bring those nice crisps from Tesco that I like.
You're like me, like
I just want stuff paint. No, books, actually, books. No, I'd bring sorry, I wouldn't bring the crisps from Tesco that I like. I'd bring books. Because if I don't want to play Sims, I'll play books. I'll read books. Yeah, books.
Would you not be smarter because you have your laptop? Audiobooks are a thing. So do you really want to take up your?
No, I'm a paper book person. I can't even talk now. Paper book. I don't like audios. I like podcasts, but I don't like listening to a book on audio. I considered a Kindle. I was about to say a candle. It's a Kindle. And I went against it. I'm more about the paper book, put the phone down and read the book and just be engrossed in the book. Like yesterday I read a book for I think like 4 hours or something.
Yeah, now I'm currently listening. You see, I think it's because I'm dyslexic and like I find books I can read. It just takes me a lot longer to read, so then I get disheartened and then obviously like you're drab and shit from your childhood and that kind of shit, like in regards to like learning. So like when I listen to an audiobook, I learn audibly. So if someone teaches more, reading it or writing it down doesn't really work. So like, and also the fact that Stephen Fry is reading to me and is in my ears, like who doesn't love Stephen Fry? Like, because I'm currently listening to this Harry Potter book. Off as a plug, almost not sponsored, but like if you just get a Amazon Prime, and then you get Audible, like it's cheaper, and then they give you a token each month. And that way, it's so much cheaper.
Books are dear, like, but what we do is a good few of us swap books and we lend each other books. Like a lot of my friends, we do that all together, and that's kind of how it works out. Like I'd have like the book I finished yesterday, I put it in one of my group chats and was like, this book is really good. I'm meeting the girls on Saturday for the first time in 15 weeks, and I was like, I'll bring it and whoever wants to take it with them. So that's what we do. But you see, I'm such a quick reader that I get through books very quickly. So it works in my favour, I suppose.
Yeah, I've seen actually quite a lot of them book clubs kind of pop up in Gorey and kind of X-Ray. Like there's a few up here as well, but it's kind of a more small community in between friends. But I've seen a lot of people have like opened it up on Instagram like as well. I suppose that story about the little kid to blow it all up at one point. But yeah, I do love books. I like the idea of reading a book, but like and my attention span is very hard to keep with something like that as well, because like there'll be big words. I know the word, but I can't say it, and then it annoys me. That's why reading's a lot harder. And Stephen Fry.
It's great that you have the option now to have them as audio, though.
Yeah, because Dad is the same. Like obviously, Dad and Mom don't really talk about like that. They do have difficulty reading, right? They both do. They're both dyslexic. Like. Dad wanted a new prayer book or some sort of book that was done with someone. So I got it for him on Amazon, but I was like, I have Audible and I can share the account with you, Dad. Do you want me to see if that book, now unfortunately that book itself wasn't on it, but a lot of them are. And he was like, oh, that would be so much better, because he himself would enjoy listening over reading it, but then he can bring it on his walk. So he can that kind of thing, so you can bring it. Like I do like listening to my audiobook before I go to sleep. But also I'm going to start going to walks once the weather gets better by myself. So it's something I can do where I podcast instead of being on my phone when I want to walk. Because usually when me and Killian go, like we're chatting, so it'd be rude if I was like, sorry, can't Harry Potter. So the next one, so I don't get jumped. The next one would be your dream holiday.
I think like the big holiday I would like would be to go away for like 3 weeks or a month or 6 weeks. Obviously it'd be really far away, like Australia or Thailand or something like that, but it's actually not a location because there are several big locations I like to, but it's going to be whichever one I get to go for a long period of time even.
Definitely.
So,
yeah, I don't know. I have a couple of places I want to go. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Bali is somewhere like because we want to like travel. Like so do you. That's like I think the younger ones in our family kind of bar Noel, but Noel's always been the exception of the older cousins. A lot of the family like are homewards and don't want to go traveling.
Yeah.
And they don't want to see the world, but like Cranford's enough for them.
Yeah.
And like I think we kind of got the younger like Holly been over in Manchester or was it Manchester?
Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland.
But I wouldn't move away. Like I would not move away. Like I'll go away for a few weeks and I'll come home. Like I'm not this person that will move away. No, I'm too afraid. I love home.
Hi, family.
Hi.
I can never think again. Yeah, no, it's different. I don't know. Do we have a dream location? See, we want to go to so many different places. Like, I'd love to go to America. Like, we have family out there, so like a lot of our traveling. Yeah. We're lucky in a way. We have family in America. We have family in Australia. So, like, if we do want to go for a long time or travel around, we can get started. And even in England as well. Like, so in that way, it kind of works out. So I don't know if I have a dream on because I've always thought about, oh, I can go for that person. I go with that person. I suppose I suppose going back to Africa would be mine.
I'd love to go to Africa.
Yeah, that like I often like that was one of the second videos I think I made started this. I do want to go into more depth about it. Like, but like it's so. I'd love to go over for a holiday, but also go back and do the work I used to do as well.
Yeah, yeah. You're very lucky that you got that experience as well. Like that's one thing that like I suppose it's one thing that kind of would lead me to regret not going to Gorey, like that I didn't get to go to Gambia.
I never thought I was going to get it because Noel was the only person in the family who got to go. Everyone else signed up for it and never got it. And then I ended up like, what?
It's incredible, like.
It was so weird because remember I've been playing the African drum for fucking centuries at this stage. I loved Africa so much as well. And so like I've always loved history and it was just something I liked researching. It was so weird. And I was out of a hat, like it's not like, because I remember there was a rumour at one point because I was Tommy's friend and I knew him outside of school that he picked my name out on purpose. Name out of fucking.
No, they do very fair in fairness. Like it's a fantastic opportunity, and they all learn so much when they go. Like to come back as this year, they come back as new students. Like
you see a lot out there. Like I don't know if they're still showing the stuff we saw. Like
I'd say I'd find it very tough going, but I think it'll be an amazing experience. Like.
And I think going over at that young age is good, but other than when I sat down and told Killian about it and I speak about it, you don't really grasp what you see and what you learn from it. So I do think it will be something for a mature person to go back and see the world from that. Because obviously as a teenager, you understand it, but like your brain is constantly learning and growing. So like it will remember it, but it doesn't really stay there, if you get me.
Yeah.
And the next question would be, have you ever cheated at school?
No. Maybe that's why I'm a teacher. I was always a good child that way. I was too afraid. I was too paranoid. Like, I'm not someone who likes getting in trouble. Like, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble at home, and then to get in trouble in school in front of loads of people would be my worst nightmare. Like, so no, I didn't, unfortunately. I wasn't cool enough.
Then there was me getting in trouble at home, school, and cheating. Polar opposites. Yeah, no. I saw every fucking morning. Give us your copy there. Copy the homework there.
No, like I really didn't. Like maybe like I got people's homework. Like I say at some stage we were sharing homework. Like if you were to go back on it, but in an actual test, I didn't cheat. Like, but not that I remember. Someone could come out now and say that I did, but I can't remember doing one anyway.
So it's like you definitely cheated on this test. I remember it was on this day. There's people like that.
I know.
Yeah, no. I don't really regret it. It was a bit of crack. I look back in school very differently now, I have to say, actually. I do.
Yeah, it's get older, like, yeah.
And the last and least, no mean least, English, am I having a stroke? Probably. Is number 10 is your favourite animal?
Dog.
That's the same here. I watched so many puppy videos this morning. I was like, I'm too hungover for this. That's not okay.
Oh no, I love dogs. I hate cats. No offense, I hate cats. Hate them.
I love and hate them. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with the poor little fuckers. Because
like a kitten, like maybe, but when they get bigger, I'm like, do you know when they wrap around your leg? I'm like, don't do that. I don't like that. Maybe it reminds me of a snake, and that's why I don't like it. I don't know. Maybe they're like.
Could be, and I think it could be the fact that Granny had so many fun cats when we were kids, and we literally.
Well, no, I never minded her cats, like, and I don't mind cats, but like if they like, I talk to them or whatever. But would I have my own? Not in a million years. And the twins want a cat when they move into their new house, and I'm like, what about a dog?
Yeah.
A dog will like play with you, and they're like, no, we want a cat. And I'm like, why do you want a cat? Why do you want a cat? Like, why don't you get a puppy? A puppy would be so much fun. And Paul is like, no, they're getting a cat. And I'm like, I'm going to try to change their mind before the house is built.
And where are they building?
I'll tell you later. We're like celebrities.
I did not say anything. Shut up. Yeah, no. We obviously had cats and that kind of shit around the house and that kind of stuff, but like it was different. Like we had a cat and a dog, and I didn't like it. But I'm allergic to them, so it's different for me as well. Like.
Yeah. But do you not think dogs have more character?
You see, I do, and like obviously I've been around cats, like obviously up in Mags and that kind of stuff, where they had cats that had quite a lot of character. So from both sides, I see it. Like,
true. Yeah, that's true. I'm just so used to dogs, I suppose.
Oh yeah, because you've always grown up with dogs. Like, definitely no. Like my dream animal is a dog. I want to get a blue Stafford terrier. Just that cute.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
And then I'm like, oh, do I want to buy one or do I want to rescue one? I'm like, I kind of want to do both, but like, I kind of want to have the puppy. So I'm like, I don't want to feed into farming, but I also want to save the dog. Because like we saved a lot of our lives.
Yeah.
You know, I never want a fucking puppy. This is a
day.
Conversation me and Killian, like, let's get a dog. No, can't.
I'm not taking responsibility if you get a dog this week. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, so April, I made a purchase. We now I said to him, like, when we have our forever home, he just realised like there's going to be random days. I'm like, I bought a calf. I'm sorry. Like, you do realize
I bought a goat.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I told him, like, it's like obviously we all have our land, like, and I was like, you know, if we build something, they're like, you realize I'm going to have like animals everywhere.
I bought 10 horses and a unicorn today.
We're now bankrupt, but you know, they're pretty. Oh, yeah, we're trying to fucking save for mortgage as well. It's all terrifying. Being an adult stuff. I don't like it.
Oh, that's too adult for me.
It's like, mortgage? No, that's terrifying.
No. On my holidays, I don't have to talk about adult stuff.
Me, since the start, I'm like, no, I don't want to adult anymore. Well, look, you've got to know both of us quite well there. So obviously, we have a few things we're going to talk about this week. Obviously, as April mentioned at the start of this, look, we're not going to stop having a laugh either. That's the whole point of these. But April's a teacher, so I did have my brother on the first episode, actually, and you said you'd watched April, and that's why you were kind of getting a go of how it will work and that kind of stuff. But obviously, you are about to graduate on Monday, of course. Hats off to you, because obviously you're going to get it, don't be worrying. William has been a teacher for
years.
Yeah, I don't know, he's old.
He's a real adult.
No. So like his perspective is completely different, because how he was taught to teach was like the old school way, where obviously when you were learning to teach now is completely different, because obviously times have changed since William was in college and teaching has changed since then. There's been a lot of reforms in the whole teaching thing. So obviously you had a couple of things like that were completely different. You just recently graduated college during the pandemic. You've been teaching during the pandemic. You also have family members that are working during the pandemic. So like we have a couple of things to go over. Obviously, they all lead into each other. But why don't we just start maybe talking about your teaching and the college end? Obviously, you can pick whichever one you want to go with first.
Okay, so I was obviously teaching. So the course that I did was the same one as William, and with the course, it's year-long placement. So I'm in school every day, and then I had college in the evening time. But from January to May, we didn't have college. We just had placement, and we worked on our pieces. Now, I was fortunately in a position that I was actually working part-time in the school as well. So I was working, it was down as part-time, but they were actually full-time hours. So like when I wasn't teaching my PME classes, I was teaching to get paid. And then the lockdown for schools actually happened at like 11 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday morning. And I was actually, it turned out, I didn't find out until later on, that I was supposed to have my last inspection that day. My inspector was actually on his way down. So like I'm kind of a little bit raging. I would have loved to have my last inspection, and like, but at the same time, it actually, I wouldn't say it's mayhem, like it wasn't mayhem, but it was quite stressful because we kind of thought we were going for 2 weeks, but a little part of me thought like, I don't see it being 2 weeks, I see it being longer. So I was teaching online then, and it was okay. Like there were weeks I found really, really tough. I found the first week fine. I found the second week even harder. And then there was some weeks then, and there's some days I had found hard, but that could literally be a difference of like one day you go to do a class live and the internet wasn't working as well, and that was solely down to like everybody locally working from home. And then I had to finish college during the pandemic as well, so I actually had to finish my thesis during a pandemic, and that was very, very tough. I found that extremely hard. Like it was getting closer and closer to the deadline, and I wasn't anywhere near finished. And I wouldn't be someone who would leave stuff on the long finger. Like if times mom said to me like, you know, you kind of need to get a move on, I was like, yeah, maybe. Like I wasn't kind of tipping away as I thought. Like the day we finished school, I was like, if anything, like this is brilliant. We're going to have extra time to work on our thesis because we're not in school all day, and I would have stayed quite late in school in the evening time to get all my work done. And so I could take weekends off, and like I was like, this is grand, like we're not traveling, like this is going to be so handy. And I actually didn't touch my thesis for I think like the first 3 weeks, and I'd turn on the laptop and open it up and I'd have to close it again. And then eventually I kind of got into it, but the last week I found very, very hard, and Shane kind of pushed me a lot to finish it in the end. And then the day I actually submitted it, I was very, very overwhelmed. I suppose I've been in college a good few years. Like I did my business course, and then I went on to do the master's. Like I'm literally in college since I finished school. Like this is the first time I'm not going back to college. And I remember like kind of getting closer to the end in my business degree. I felt the same, but then I knew I'd got accepted into my master's. Whereas this time I don't know kind of what holds for me in September. All going well, I'll have a job, but it was very overwhelming to kind of submit your thesis and be like, okay, that's kind of it. And then with the pandemic, like I suppose if I was in school, I would have had support from other teachers and my other teachers that were really good friends of mine, and some that were actually doing the masters as well. And we would all help each other a lot. And when you're at home, you didn't have that. Like, so no, it was tough, like, but at the same time, it was a big relief when it was finished. And then I was able to focus on school much better. Like I found the week I submitted my thesis very hard to teach as well. It was like kind of a juggling act. So then when I knew thesis was out of the way, teaching became a lot easier, more enjoyable online as well. I actually learned so much from teaching online. And there are definitely aspects of teaching online that I will bring to the classroom when we go back. There are chapters that will like solely be down to videos online. Like obviously I'm going to teach them, like, but I had to make videos because my Wi-Fi wasn't strong enough to do some classes. So I have all that made. So really it's a good way to build up resources online as well.
Oh, definitely. Like, obviously speaking with William before as well, he was like, obviously this is something I've done, being online, and I know it's a different aspect for you because you're teaching it just to a classroom, but I think it's kind of scarier to think about the way you have to do it. I'm putting stuff on the internet for strangers to see, but
Yeah,
you're doing it and you know them students, and then the students know you, and some
yeah,
people know you personally, and you're like, oh, someone going to notice that, and it's my room tidy up that. You're thinking of all that. Like I
yeah,
do a set dress for this because it's a set when I'm doing these videos and that kind of stuff. But when you're a teacher, you don't think about that because you're not creating content to
yeah,
create content. You're teaching a class, so like
yeah.
if you have a bra hanging in the background, you have a bra hanging in the background kind of thing. But like I say, there's been mishaps like that. Like I do love watching on TikTok all the Zoom calls and the kids messing and like
Oh
doing
yeah, they're really
like,
funny. Like, and like I have a tutor class, like, and I played quizzes with them every Friday. Like with my first years, I would have played quizzes as well, you know, because it was tough being like, take down these notes, do these questions, and we had great crack. But you had to have, like, I was kind of hard at the start, not hard, but I suppose it was work, 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 and then because the chapters were finished early, I kind of had that leeway. So near
you
the
could have
end, I
fun with
brought a
them.
lot
Like
of fun into it. Yeah, so like the quizzes and stuff at the end really helped, and it kind of kept them motivated as well. And I wasn't just learning chapters and doing questions, like certain, like we did a marketing chapter and you had to look up your favorite ads and you had to create ads, and like some kids made TikTok videos, like, and that wouldn't have happened if we were in a classroom. We would have made advertisements, but they wouldn't have willingly made TikToks.
no, that's the difference. Like I think this
Yeah,
has shown you. Obviously, you're a younger teacher, so you probably would have been able to pull that kind of stuff into the class. They probably would have
yeah,
done it, but there would have been one or two students that would have done it, or maybe you should video about it or a Facebook post, because obviously that's the way the world is going. But I
yeah,
think because you had to do it online and that kind of stuff, it did open up the other end. We're like, oh, well, it's not just what the teaching course gives me or whatever. There's other
yeah,
aspects of my life that I can bring as a teacher. And I full well know, like, you as a person, that's what you do anyway when you teach. But I think being forced in this pandemic has showed
yeah,
teachers like that you need to pull from other parts. And it's not just something that, like, oh, I get 3 months off in the summer. That's always a running joke in Ireland when someone
mm.
becomes a teacher. Oh, it's only because you get 3 paid months off. At
And
the
you
end,
actually don't.
you know, you
Like
have to
people
be a full
don't
time
get three
teacher.
months because, in fact, like the kids that I've taught are amazing. Like they're really good kids. But that comment was said once or twice, messing with me. Like, and I actually like wasn't having any of it because teachers aren't paid. Like I told them, like I have to work during the summer. I take 1 week off, and sometimes I might not take that week off before you start back school. Like this summer, I won't be taking a week off before I start back school. All going well, I have a job.
Mm.
Like it takes years, and if you're lucky to automatically get into a contract that you are paid over the summer, it's fantastic. Like, but it's not as easy as everyone makes it out to be. And the job, even applying for jobs at the minute, like I knew it was going to be hard, but even mentally it has been very hard. Like the amount, and it's like when you apply for any job, the amount of rejection emails you get is just unnatural, and you're like,
Or just
okay,
no
that's
email
fine.
and just like, what did I do for home?
I know, like I remember the first one I got, I was like, what? Now I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You know, even like when you mentioned with the thesis, like obviously that hurts a nerve with me. Not that I've done a fucking thesis or anything, but with me, yes, I did a thesis on how to be a YouTuber. Should do that
Yeah,
actually.
but college isn't for everyone either. Like, and that's something that's gone very big in school. Like apprenticeships and just
Mm.
going to work and shop. Like a parent actually said to me before, like certain student wasn't found a hard school, whatever, and her mom was like, if you go to work in Aldi, like you have to have your junior cert. Like you just can't. Like every job, you have to have something. Like so, school
Yeah.
is important, but like you don't have to go to college. Like.
Jesus Christ, my leaving cert results are on my fucking CV, and how many jobs have I had over years? I'm coming up on my birthday. I'll be working 10 years.
Yeah,
Like
but
I've been
like
working
I'm
since I
not
was 15.
like, and that's perfect. Like, and I wouldn't even be happy with my results. I wasn't happy with my results, and now because I've been in college like a million years, I don't have to have my leaving
Yeah,
cert results, so I can just have my college results. But like,
I like these.
God, my results weren't what I thought they were going to be. Now I'm still very happy with them. Like looking back, they are good. But I suppose it's time to think, oh, you're so thick. But like, oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Sorry. I like had a blank there. I got my memory now has gone really bad since I've stopped working. Like I had to go the back door into teaching, like, and I thought I'd never get into it, and like here I am about to get my results next Monday, like, and I always say, like, if you can pass your driving test, you can do anything in this life.
Exactly. Probably won't pass driver test ever because I'm way too lazy. Like, I love the idea of having a car because I could drive down, and this whole pandemic thing would be a lot easier for me. Like, I've sorted out how I'm coming down now and where I'm staying and that kind of shit. But like, because we travel with public transport, that's the reason.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, the fucking tax, insurance, the fact that I have a mobile, like, I am mentally unstable. Imagine me in a car, murder machine. It's like, I don't like
your hair.
Yeah.
It's like swooshing.
Oh, it's like down here now. We also have Victoria and Lynn hanging up there.
I'm trying to grow my hair now, and it's at the stage that it's annoying me, and you know when you get to a stage that if it's annoying you, you're either going to cut it or you're going to keep going. So I've had it actually plaited all week, so it's been out of my face, and it's just it's not curling well, so I'm trying very hard.
Yeah, like we obviously my hair is tied up in a ponytail right now because it hasn't been washed. Like, you know, my hair is very curly as well.
Yeah,
it's a journey. Like, I've wanted to shave my head since the start of the pandemic. I was like, I want to shave my head, but then I also don't want to make a mental breakdown because I have, like, I know you will understand this as well. I think most girls do. I have a really big connection to my hair. It was always how I will express myself when I worked in the salons. I used to dye colors. It was always different styles and that kind of stuff. And I suppose, obviously, going through this whole pandemic thing, I've kind of rejuvenated myself and sat down and talked to myself about stuff and talked to others that I need to fix stuff with. And I'm like, my hair sometimes I feel like is my security blanket sometimes. And I don't like the fact that. But I also don't, I want to shave my head, but then I've gone on this curly hair journey that I never knew I was going to go on. And but like, I love it when it's on a good day.
Yeah, I see that. I'm the same. Like, I cut my hair. My hair was down to my hips a few years ago, and I cut it up to my shoulders, and then it grew again. And then last year, I went into the hairdressers, and it's my sister's best friend, and she was like, "What do you want? Just a trim, is it?" And I was like, "No, just cut it all off." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "No, cut it all off." And since then, I keep letting him cut it up. But then I seen a photo of when Hannah was really small, and I was holding her. And I had my hair in a ponytail and probably up as high as it is now. And it literally went down. And I was like, oh, I really miss that hair. Like, I think if I was to keep it long and just probably let it get a trim more often, because I was so afraid of getting a trim. Like, it was in a dire state by the time I put it up to my shoulders. Like, so very, very exciting. Like,
that is the difference that people don't get. Like, obviously, I worked in salons for over 5 years on and off. Like, so like, I know the trade. I'm technically a qualified barber from training. Like, in the salons, I don't have any papers. Like, I was trained in everything, but I don't have papers. You know, people are assholes. But so like, I know how to keep my own hair. Saying that, do I have psoriasis of the scalp at this current moment and a half for the last year and a half, 2 years? I do, but that's because I'm too cheap to buy fucking expensive shampoo. Now I will now for my curly hair, but that's the difference. Like, like my hair now, I'll show you how long it is. Like, because this has been growing. Like, I got this cut before I left my last job. Like,
I may text you after because I need to know what you're doing. So I actually started taking vitamins this week, everybody.
Killian fucking buys loads of vitamins the whole time. They got me a pack, and I think I started taking them for the first 2 weeks, and it's like, whoops.
That's what happens to me. But like, I was really good at taking them when I commuted to Dublin for college, because you're like, back then I was commuting 4 hours a day, and they were the best thing I ever had. So I'm making a conscious effort this time. I'm on a health buzz this week.
Oh yeah, like I was on such a health buzz like at the start of this. I look somewhat human, and then I think I just went into it. Like, I went to it. Like, I suppose coming at the other end of it is only like the last week or so. Even like yourself, I wasn't texting back. I wasn't fucking texting you around. I think it was fucking everyone, even Killian. Like, I just took a nosedive, and I suppose sometimes you need that. Like, because I am. getting one back up when I do want to go for walks, and it's not like, oh, I'm doing this. Like, I've planned stuff to do this with you. I've planned to record a few other. I've actually got up and planned videos, and I have 2 or 3 videos already in my book. Not gonna lie, this is the cutest thing ever. Oh, I just wrecked my entire bedroom. Harry,
Oh, that's cool.
Killian got me this from for Christmas. It's like, it's the book, but it's like got gold pages and shit.
Never got into Harry Potter.
Yeah, you never liked it.
Sorry. I'm probably one of the only ones out of the family that doesn't watch it.
No, Helena's the same until like she got a bit older and I started watching
it. That's good. That makes me happy. No, I could never get into it, to be perfectly honest. I think I need to try again though.
Yeah, I think they're on Netflix, or maybe that's only Netflix Germany.
May have to look.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So that's like what I write my stuff for my YouTube. But I sat down and I'm able to plan stuff. Like, obviously you mentioned with your thesis and you kind of were putting off. But I think a lot of people at the start of this pandemic, look, I shouldn't be actually saying that technically according to you. Shadow ban me.
Yeah.
I think people at the start of this didn't realise how much it was affecting them.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like, the first few weeks you'd open your laptop and look at the thesis, like, no, can't do it. I think it took until like where we are now and like how we've all looked back on what we've done and how we've been dealing with things. It was literally just a guttural reaction to pull yourself back from everything, because your body was just trying to protect you, because obviously, like, I think people who didn't know what anxiety was before fucking learned what anxiety was in this situation.
Yeah, and like I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm out walking, and I've started walking again this week. And Carl Henry, I follow him on Instagram as well, and it was either on one of the podcasts I was listening to or on his Instagram, and basically, it was his Instagram, and someone asked, they were like, I'm actually exhausted, I think I have work burnout, but I haven't been working. And he actually said, from people stopping working when the pandemic happened, whatever week he stopped, he said it could actually take weeks for it to set in. So this person was actually exhausted and it took weeks to set in. Like, and I think that happened to a lot of people. That's why everyone got so, well, I don't know from everyone's own happenings of how they're feeling, but I know myself, once I finished work, the week after I finished work, I was just so tired all the time. Like, and it's because I wasn't doing anything and I was so used to being go, go, go. And Selena said on her video with you about going for a walk in the evening, like she always says she doesn't have time, and that was me as well. And it's something I'm definitely going to change going forward. Like, I've been out every day this week walking to get my 10,000 steps, and it's probably the first time, obviously tracking it on a watch anyhow, in months that I've actually got 10,000 steps every day, other than being on holidays, and that's no joke. But I'm actually sleeping so well, I'm waking up early, I'm drinking 2 litres of water, and it's just made a massive difference to me. So it just goes to show you how important exercise is, even just going for a stroll. Like I went to Rathwood the other day and I didn't by any means push myself, I just strolled, and like I'm sleeping like a baby. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I think at the start of this, as you said, I think it's just a fucking family trait, or the way we're all brought up down in Cranford. We are a community of people who just go, 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 go. You don't take time for yourself. At the start of this, like, I was like, oh, this is, because I didn't take time. I didn't take holidays. For taking holidays when I worked for companies, and they were like, Stephen, you've all these hours, take them off. But like, no, I can't, because I suppose just from coming, we weren't affluent, as they say, because like, not that we were poor. Well, my parents thought we were poor, but then we weren't. But like, it's not like we couldn't eat, we were that poor, like, but we weren't well off, as they say.
Sorry, the way you said that was so funny.
We were poor, like, not poor.
Yeah, we were poor. We weren't poor, but now we were poor. Now we're not poor again. No, I was the same when I worked in like the hotels and stuff. I found, especially in college, I'd never take holidays, and I would just take the pay from it, which is actually, now they don't allow that. Like, but I found the first few midterms of teaching that I was exhausted because I had to take time off. And when I stopped working in the leisure centre then and just focused solely on college and school, like the weeks we had for midterm and Christmas and stuff, I was so tired. I couldn't explain it.
Your body is so used to the constant go, go, go when it does. Yeah. It's like, I think why I'm able to sleep, and it's probably why you're able to sleep again as well, is because we're so used to being switched on constantly. especially coming from something like the restaurant industry, because you leave your shift and you're still thinking about what you've done that night and was everything done right and is it going to be okay the next day and is there going to be anything that goes wrong. So coming from that kind of industry, your brain does kind of always be on. And then obviously with the teaching as well, you're always thinking stuff, and then you're doing your thesis for that. And obviously we're teaching through most of the pandemic, and now you've got your time. But I think it's given me, and I think by what you're saying yourself as well, a view on what's happening and what's really important in life and what's not. Like as Helena said, and as you've done, like I know I love dancing, but because that's the form of exercise I used to love, and I used to be really skinny. I've looked back at pictures and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm the size of the house, but I'm also 25 and I was 16 in that picture, so you know. You gotta look back when I was 16. Jesus, started puberty, looking lovely.
No, I completely agree with what Helena says. Like, you see what's more important. Like, and like I'm someone who's kind of started to travel, and like my 2 big holidays this year like aren't going ahead. And like I remember like the weekend, we actually had a weekend away, myself and the girls planned. That was cancelled, and then we had 2 big holidays planned. I was going away with Shane and I was going away with the girls, and they were cancelled. At the time, like I was devastated. Like I was like, I have nothing to look forward to, because that was always my thing in the masters. If I'm working this hard, I can book holidays to look forward to. But I've kind of just started to enjoy not having anything to look forward to. Like I know when we get going again, I'll be mad to start traveling again. But at the same time, like you don't always have to do stuff to have a good day or enjoy a weekend. Like if that makes sense. I've actually been really happy just sitting at home playing my Sims for a few hours or reading a book. Like so it has taken like this, and like I said to Shane and a few people that like sorry, my battery just popped up on the thing, that we will never get that time again.
Just going to go ahead and pause there for 2 seconds, April. As you can see, we had a small bit of a technical issue, but we're back here looking fabulous as ever, isn't that right, April? These things happen. Technology is real fun. But yeah, as we were saying there, like everything's very, very different nowadays. So your situation, your family, obviously we're cousins, so we're very closely related. So obviously the situation with Granny and all, not everyone can visit. That's obviously took a toll on Granny, but us as the grandchildren as well, because look, Granny is getting on in age, obviously, and as well, we've had people pass and families as well recently enough. I know you have yourself. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but obviously, look, it's been a hard enough time, and then for this thing to happen as well, you get me? All into the aspects. Now, your sister happened to be living, our little Holly, what are all her qualifications now? She's an MUA, a nurse.
She's in Scotland studying nursing, and things hadn't got I wouldn't say that hadn't got bad over there, but there was rumours that Ireland were kind of going to go into a lockdown, and Holly, it wasn't as bad over there. And then next thing, the schools closed over here. And Holly was kind of like, I wonder, should I come home? And we were all like, I think you should come home. You need to come home. And obviously, like, we didn't realize the extent of it. So she was actually on placement at the time, but then placement got pulled and she decided to come home. Now, when she came home, she obviously didn't realize she would be home for as long. And she's actually home now until September. And then she got a job in a COVID hospital. So with having asthma, I kind of had to make a decision. And I suppose when we haven't seen anything like the coronavirus before, it was quite hard to make a decision. And like, you know, it'd be different if we had more information on it and we knew what kind of happened. So I was a bit weary being at home and being in the same house as Holly. And God, it's actually like a bad smell, but I was just quite afraid of maybe if I got it or whatever. So I moved up to Shane's house. So I've been in Shane's house now for 8 weeks. This week was my 8th week up here. So I've been up here, and Holly has been working in the COVID hospital. So I have barely been home since I have moved up. Just with restrictions and all, we were sticking to the rules or whatever. And not mixing households. And I found it very, very hard. The first few weeks, I don't think I have ever cried as much. The smallest of things set me off. So poor old Shane really, really had his work cut out for him. Oh, like I've never been away from home that long, except for when I lived in Dublin, but I was home every single weekend. Like, so it was a big change for me as well. So I've learned loads, and I'm going home now in the next 2 weeks. Like, so it's been so much fun.
I'd say that's exciting. Like, you do get to go home. I think you will look at living at home differently, though. That's one thing I'll say to you. I know when I went home for a weekend and Mom's like, here, empty the dishwasher. I'm like, I didn't fucking use the dishes.
Yeah, like, and that was me when I moved home from college. And I have said this to Shane, like, I'm dreading moving home. And he's like, why? Like, you live at home. I was like, but I have lived here. And, like, it has been our own place. Like, and now I'm going back to live with my parents. So I got on very well living at home. I love living at home. But when I go through phases of living away from home and then to come back home, I find it quite hard. So 1 like on this video equals 1 prayer.
I just imagine your indication with the wooden spoon. Fucking empty the dishwasher.
We don't even have a dishwasher. That's the worst part that I hate. I hate it.
Got that. Yeah, that hard water situation down in Cranford is not fun. Yeah, no, it's very different. Because, like, honestly, I suppose hearing you say that, I'm like, well, I never really had that, but I was never really a home bird. I was always, I went traveling here a group around Ireland, and that's actually coming out soon. Staying. No, it's fine. I don't know the fuck what I was trying to say. So, like, I don't know where I was going with that. Brain fart.
Yeah, no, I'm very much a home bird, like, but then when I go away from home and I'm like, I say when I move out now, it won't be as big of a change because I have moved out for a long period and never went home to visit. Like, the first weekend I went home was to get school stuff for work, like, and I was actually quite emotional coming home. I was drained when I came home, like, the excitement of it was a lot. Especially with the twins, I suppose you miss so much when they're so small. But like, the day I was leaving, Hannah cried, like, and I found that very, very tough. I know, I was very upset, and I felt like a really bad aunt, because I suppose it was the unknown as well, and they weren't in school, and it was tough, like, and it's tough on every family, like. But yeah, I've learned loads, and I suppose not being home, I kind of know I can be at home, because I would have been someone who would have been homesick. I wouldn't have went on sleepovers and stuff for years when I was younger, like, so.
I know, I remember that.
So, yeah.
Like, even to my house, which was literally 2 houses over, like, you wouldn't, but we'd always have sleepover in yours, like, or Helena would always come down to use would never go up to her.
Yeah, like, never, like, hated it. But, like, I got, like, that got better as I got older as well, like, but then I've never traveled away from home for a long period of time, other than, like, a week. And so this has been a really big thing for me, because I am such a home bird. So I've learned loads, like, and I enjoy being away from home as well, like, and home will be there when I go back.
Exactly, it's not like they're gone. Like, the whole family situation obviously is very poignant for me. Look, I moved away from home 4 years ago. Now, not most of the family don't know this, but when I did move away, I found it very hard to come back, because I ran away from a lot of my problems living down there, like situations and in circles of friends groups and that kind of shit. So anytime you probably noticed back before, it won't happen anymore because I've dealt with the situation. I used to be drunk anytime I was down visiting, because I couldn't deal with the anxiety of being around, because it was a family event and people asking questions, and it was just weird. And then most of the time my parents happened to be at the fucking same party, and then I was dealing with that, and, like, obviously everyone's like, they're divorced for however many years, they're grand, like, they don't fucking talk, and then they're all just awkward around each other, and Nick William, that goes over his fucking head, but then one of them says something to me, and then the other one says something to me, so I'm dealing with the two of it, so it was just very hard for me. But it's like, it's something as well that I need to be able to go home and not have anxiety. Like, I went down once by myself, and everyone's like, you never really come down by yourself. I was like, because I didn't like traveling down. There was a lot of anxiety connected with work and home, which was very sad. I think when we sold the house, it kind of, everyone was like, oh, you're not really sad about it, because, like, I've never really viewed it as a home, like, you know, like, past and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's very different, but now I have a different understanding of family. Like, I contact my dad most days, same with my mom. we were doing a William, he just kind of like going out to meeting his friends and his mates now and kind of that kind of stuff. So like we're not in contact as much. But as you said as well, it's changed how you view your family, and obviously you've never been away for 8 weeks before.
Yeah.
It's shown you that you can do it, so you will be able to move out. Like I remember when I moved out.
Go on holidays, Stephen. I'm able to go traveling for long periods of time. That's what it has taught me. I can go sit by a pool.
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't. Oh, I'd love 8 weeks out of the fucking pool now.
I know.
And we're looking at it, but like, oh, if we don't have any money, we're saving for workshop. Life's fucking hard, isn't it? No, it's very different. Like, and the fact that I was able to admit to you that like most of the times I was down, I was drunk, because I fucking was.
Yeah, but like that's part of, I suppose, a healing process as well. Like, and you had said like people pass stuff. Like my granddad had died in January, like quite suddenly, like, and I went back to school. Like it was actually just as the Christmas holidays for school had finished, like, and I took the first day off, and I didn't really feel ready to go back the second day, but I kind of did, and I went back, like, and it was fine, like, and people are very good, but as a teacher had said to me, like, everybody else's life moves on, because that's what happens with a funeral. Like, you know, in Ireland you have your 3 days and then everybody moves on, like, whereas family it doesn't, like, and I kind of feel with lockdown and obviously being away from home, it was something I had to deal with as well, like, and especially not being able to see like my nanny and granny, it just felt harder, like, but like that's part of the process as well. Like lockdown has actually been like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I've been like, part of me is actually kind of dreading going back to what normal was, but at the same time part of me is really excited for it. But I think it's just because I've been so used to not being out and about. But last week actually I was out and about a lot, and I met up with friends for like some hikes and stuff like that, so I'm kind of easing myself back into it, which is a good way of doing it, I think.
Oh, definitely. Like I think it's like, it's not like I'm not best friends with Granny or anything, but I wouldn't have went out of my way to contact either of my grannies. Like, look, I always take the piss out of Granny when I'm on the phone to Daddy, like, or whatever. Me and Granny have a very banterful relationship. Like, where you and Granny watch for a city, where me and Granny sit down and rip pieces out of each other. It's just the friendship. Like, I can say shit to her that half of you can't, but that's because it's just me. Like, and same with my nana. Like, obviously, my mom's mom, like, I've been in contact with her as well, and my mom goes down, like, she obviously talks for us as well, like, so it's very different. I suppose even you mentioned your granddad had died, and like that was a really unfortunate thing that happened, but I suppose you had time now to deal with it. Like, I was even talking to Gillian last night, for some reason my granddad popped into my head, like I have a picture beside my bed at any house I've ever lived in, beside my bed, and it has a piece of Fluffy's hair in it as well, in that picture of him. But he came into my head for some reason. Like, as you said, it has been something really, really good. Like, yeah, the fact that there's this virus and that, all that shite. And obviously, like, the Black Lives Matter movement at the moment is an amazing thing. That happened. I haven't really spoke about it online. I've shared a lot of things because I don't want to. I'm trying to organize something at the moment to be able to speak about it, but it's not something I want to speak about because it's not. I have white privilege. But the quarantine is also, and the pandemic has taught me other sides of it, like, check yourself. So you know, like, that you're not that you're not being racist, but you're not putting yourself above someone else and thinking and it's also showed me in the pandemic end is speak to your family a bit more. You don't know what's going to happen, like, or how the world is going to go, or what's going to happen tomorrow. The world can fucking end. Like, did you speak to your like, was the last thing you had with conversation was an argument, that kind of thing. Like, I think a lot of stuff like that. It's very strange. I do miss my mom. My whole thing was like, can I hug you when I see you? And she's like, I don't give a fuck if you kill me with the coronavirus. Of course you can hug me.
That was the hardest part when I did go home, I think, not being able to hug anyone, and especially the twins, because they're so used to being hugged and loved. And I found that very tough. It's very hard walking away from them and not being able to hug them. But, and then like talking to like Granny and Nanny through a window, like that has since changed. I've been able to go inside. Like, I went in to see Granny the last time I was down, and she she didn't know I was there. So it was lovely. Like, so it's all like, it's all the things you're looking forward to now. Like, you know, I'm seeing my best friends for the first time in 15 weeks tomorrow. Like, and I didn't realize it was 15 weeks until I counted it up yesterday, because we were obviously in contact or whatever. But I was listening to a podcast the other day. It's Georgia Crawford, and I find her very good. And a woman on the podcast said, like, get out of your WhatsApp groups and actually meet up with people, like. And it actually makes so much sense, like the amount of WhatsApp groups you're in, and you might not see those people for ages, like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like it's kind of showing me as well, like obviously with family I've got so much closer. Doing this, I think, is kind of me in way kind of introducing myself back to old friends, because when I moved away, I kind of moved away from a lot of my own budget, and I kind of find up here, I have friends I've made, have some really good friends, and obviously just leave in other parts of Dublin hasn't been opened up yet, and people don't want to kill each other, so because it's a lot worse up here, because obviously it's a big city and that kind of stuff. But I've struggled over the years with friendships, because I do have my depressive episodes and I don't reply to people, and then I overthink things. Like I might text you and you might think that's just a text message, but I probably read into that, like, and she's going to think this, and if I say that, but that's only because of the way I fucking text my friends, or my mom, and how she picks up on stuff, and same with Killian. But that's different because they're friendships, not relationships. But I think it's showing me that I used to have such a big friend circle, and now I have such a small friend circle.
But like, I think like I would have had a very large friend circle in school as well, like, and I suppose I went to school in one different county than the county I'm from, like, so I would have had quite a large social circle, like there'd be no hate or anything, like, but a smaller circle is so much easier. And like, you know, I love having different circles of friends as well, which I do, like, and because you learn something from everybody, and I've actually like brought a lot of circles together. So like, I think every friend you have has something to bring to the table, if that makes sense. Like, I'm sure if you were to ask one of my best friends about me, I'm sure there's something I do for them. Like, and I have friends, like, there's certain friends I text if there's something wrong, because they'll tell you straight, like, whether you're overthinking it or whatever. But I suppose now with a lockdown, like, people have had more time to spend with their own thoughts, like, and this is something we had talked about, and like, I think people need to address that, like, having your own thoughts is fine, but you need to make sure you're looking after yourself properly as well. As I've always said, you can't pour from an empty cup. And that's the big thing for me now, getting back into walking. Like, and just some people like walking is nothing, but Shane's sister kindly offered me her treadmill last night. Well, I asked could I use it because it was lashing rain to get my steps in. And I hated being on it. And I would have always been someone who went to gym, but because I was so used to being outside in the fresh air, I felt like I was in a cage. And I actually did an hour on it and then got off and finished my 10,000 steps by walking around the house outside in the rain, because I just had to get out in the fresh air. I'm starting to love the fresh air again. And I actually don't think I'd be someone who would renew their gym membership after.
Yeah, like I've never really been one for gyms. Like when I first got with Killian, like went full mad, got my body in amazing shape, and then I started working full time again in a restaurant, and that went out the fucking window. Because you know yourself, when you work in restaurant industry, you don't need to go to because you work in a fucking gym.
No.
Like
I was so strong when I worked in the hotel, like so strong. And like, I remember like carrying the trays, you know, you would be under pressure. People often pointed out how strong I was. And now I say if I used to lift something, my legs and hands would not be able for it. Like, the amount of steps that you did in a day in a restaurant was unnatural. Like,
what came to that? When I was working for Dyson, I could average 25,000 steps in the store. So like, if you think
bad, like,
that was just as a reps and in a store, walking around getting stuff and talking to people and getting products and kind of shit, and obviously moving because you're bored because you're standing, you can't fucking sit down at the rep, and that's one thing I hate about rep work. But in the restaurant, I've seen people do 75,000 steps in a night or in a day, like a shift. Like, say if you're doing the dinner shift and it's a busy Friday night, you could, God knows what, or
easy 20,000 or more. Like, it's colossal, like, and it's a great way to be because you're so active, like, and that's why back then I was obviously very fit from working in the hotel. And I found when I moved to the leisure centre, even though I was in a leisure centre and I had access to the gym, because I was sitting down, it was actually harder. So when I teach now, I actually stand. I very rarely sit down.
William mentioned that as well. He doesn't sit down when he teaches. And
I don't sit down either. Very rarely. Very, very rarely I sit down. And usually if I sit down, it would be solely due to if I'm actually not feeling well. I always stand.
Did any of our primary school teachers sit down? No, they all stood up actually, didn't they?
No, all stood. Very rarely sat down. And I don't know what's for any other teacher, but for me, I just feel like I'm able to give my class better. That's very bad English. I do apologize. But I'm able to
portray what
conduct
you're teaching.
the class better, like teach better than sitting down, because when you're sitting down, there's a desk blocking you. And like this is the whole like energy thing as well. You're blocking them, so they don't feel as, not that they don't feel as safe, but when I'm standing and giving them the comfort that they have my full attention, like.
Oh no, definitely, like I completely understand that. It's like same with the videos. The reason in most of my videos that I'm sitting down is because when you watch it, it relaxes you and you're sitting down watching it. And the reason I usually use my bedroom as the background is because it's kind of like, oh, it's like a warm cup of tea, you sit down with it and you snuggle into it. Like, it's the whole point of like, it might be a heavy subject, but the surroundings are making it easier. So like I do completely understand that, because like I'm very big into energy and how it works. Like I with my hands and that kind of stuff, and I could go on a whole different. We could go down if you wanted, but like it's very different that way. Like,
no, I completely agree.
Like I think obviously with the teaching end for you, I think you've been given. I suppose everyone that's teaching, it depends if they're going to bring it into the schooling. If this is a good opportunity to learn new things you would never have learned because you wouldn't have had to do it.
Oh, absolutely, and like. A flipped classroom is something we were taught about in college, and basically it's where you make videos and they watch those videos at home, and then when they come back into school we do the questions or the activity work, blah blah blah. And it was always something I wanted to try, but I was never confident enough to get in front of a camera. So with lockdown and being in quarantine, obviously I was forced into this situation and I had to do them. Now, did I have to do videos where you showed my face? Absolutely not. I did a lot of videos where I had my PowerPoint and I spoke over it. But even when I had thought about doing that previously, like there was no way I would have done it. And then when I was talking to kids, I was on camera or whatever. So it was a massive learning curve. And it's something I will bring into the classroom. I think it's a fantastic way of helping kids learn.
Oh, definitely. And like I'd even say, from someone who does have dyslexia and finds it harder to learn stuff, I think having a person on camera teaching you gives you, as you said, that level. You kind of feel the connection and the energy, and it's the comfort. Because obviously I've done voiceover work as well and that kind of stuff. That obviously is kind of podcasty, so you kind of relax. But if you're on camera, at least you can catch their attention. Like they're going to see and you're going to move, and there's going to be things, that kind of stuff. Like obviously, look, you don't have a board set up in your house unless you've forced into buy you want to make one, and you're on the whiteboard like, and this is what you do.
I actually have a disposable one.
Oh, excuse me. Fair play.
Yes, I didn't use it though. I didn't need it.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Everything is online nowadays, and it's so much better. Like the fact that Zoom is the thing. It's so I can still create content. I would love to do it in person, and I would love to do it on the rest of them in person. But it's given. I suppose everything's changing, and I hope it doesn't just go back to how we saw.
I don't think it will. I think people maybe not everybody, but I think a good percentage of people have found a new way of living. And a lot of companies now, these are all the big companies, but I'm nearly certain it's Twitter, they don't have to go back to work in the office again if they don't want to, if they want to work from home, because their productivity of their staff actually increased more when they were at home. So I definitely think it will change. Some companies will change and then some won't. And obviously it depends on what's best for a company. But I think people individually, like Helena said, and I completely agreed with her when she said it, and I know I've spoke about it in the video already, that you can't give yourself an hour in the evening to go for a walk, even half an hour, and that's something that will be changing for me. I don't care where I'm working, I will be walking in the evening time or in the morning time. It's just you have to take time out for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I hope I don't see a change in, because I think for a lot of families, there's two sides to this. Unfortunately, kids are stuck home, abusive parents and that kind of stuff, and alcoholism. That is the dark side of it. that's unfortunately a fact of life, and that's what happens, and that has been very scary for a lot of people. But I think it's
Yeah.
also the other side of it as well, has forced a lot of parents to be at home with their kids. And
Yeah.
he's been out working and he's getting that money, but then he's realised that this job isn't what he really wants to do, and he misses his
Yeah.
kids. So I hope people that have had them epiphanies, obviously doesn't mean the minute you go back, like, fuck you, you're not working anymore, but they have a plan in sight, so that they can, like, better their own life. Because I know a lot of people, I know our parents worked to keep us alive and feed us. Maybe it wasn't their profession they wanted to do when they were a child, but they did it so they could keep their family. So I hope people have had enough time to think and reevaluate their life. Not that they change everything. Like, obviously, both your parents are happy what they do, but, like, was it their long life to do that? Like, who knows? We can't. They might say.
I completely agree. I wouldn't be surprised if some people went back to college and stuff, because it's all going online. It wouldn't surprise me if there was actually a spike in mature students going back, which is brilliant to see. Like,
yeah, like, I've been looking into doing courses, but I'm like, the way I've went about life is I've always somehow got in a back door and worked it that way.
Yeah.
Like, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing a video about theatre and that kind of stuff. That was me being in shows, then working backstage, and then traveling around Ireland working with them. So that was a way. You don't have to go to theatre college for that. Like my dream, I know what I was.
No, not at all. Like, and that's something that we spoke about before, like going in through the back door. Like, not years ago, that there would have been like a whole like stigma, like, oh, they had to go through the back door to get into that course, or they had to do like a level 6 to get into that level 8. Like, and I suppose being a teacher now and seeing the experience, and like, obviously I've worked so hard to get where I wanted to be, it's actually not a big deal. But at the same time, I suppose people are so paranoid about what other people think. I mean, really, like, people don't actually care about you. Like, your own family do, and your friends or whatever. Like it's all in your head. Like, but like, there was that stigma, but now there's not, because college courses, like CAO points, is all based on the popularity of the course and how many people apply. Like, and when people realize that, like, they realize that, like, maybe that person was 5 points off just because someone got higher points. Like, so hopefully this year again, especially with the Leaving Cert not happening, that it will break down that stigma again.
I definitely, like, I even think when like, what you're saying is what I was thinking when I was doing the Leaving Cert, and everyone's like, oh, this, that, blah, blah. I'm like, it's a fucking piece of paper. It does not mean nothing.
Yeah.
I think that's because I worked from such a young age, and I've seen the other side of it. Like, you don't need, yes, you need an education. I do think everyone should have a formal education, but I do think education needs to have a reform, because not every kid learns the same.
Yeah, and like,
it's constant learn this, but what am I learning it to remember for one test, and that shit might not even come up in the test. Like,
yeah, like, I think this is actually going to influence the Leaving Cert very heavily. Like, in college, you've assignments, and you know, it builds up to 1%, and then your last exam is a certain percentage. And if the Leaving Cert doesn't go the same way, I'd be very, very surprised. And I know, like, not everybody goes to college, and college isn't the big thing for everyone, and you're not to do your Leaving Cert just so you can go to college. Like, do the Leaving Cert for you, and if you don't go to college, that's not a big deal. Like, but I do think they need to change the Leaving Cert, because like, the way I was taught in college on how to teach kids was, it wasn't always class tests you were giving them, and it wasn't always questions you were giving them to help them learn. Like, they could be making posters or videos, or, you know, loads of different things, or doing research. Like, and that's the way the junior cert has changed now. There still is quite a big exam at the end for business. Only I know about business. Like, it's 10% that they do a project, which I personally feel it should be more, because they put so much work into it. But it is a starting point for the Irish education. But the Leaving Cert definitely needs to go towards continuous assessment, and then like a small final exam.
Oh, definitely. Like, as we had mentioned before previously, like, when you go to play school, you're taught how to be a human being. When you go to, some people go to before education, well, there's loads of shit you can do with your child. And fucking, when you stab them with the injections, what's that called?
Oh, I don't know. Stephen, I'm on my holidays. My brain's not working anymore. You can't ask me. I took out my brain when I finished school and put it in a little jar. My memory and everything.
That's what I was trying to say. Oh, mine's always been terrible. No, but like you're taught like how to use a toilet, how to be nice to humans.
Yeah,
John that John can't bite someone because it's not what humans do. They're not taught.
yeah,
You're the same in play school, and
yeah,
then baby infants and senior infants and all through primary school, you're taught what's going to be taught in secondary school, and then it comes to secondary school.
yeah,
It's like fuck this. We're just gonna. This is what
yeah,
we
and like
test. And you go to
there
college and
should
like
be
what?
part of college should have an influence on secondary schools, even though like not everybody goes to college. And as I have said, it's not a big deal if you do or don't go. But when you were in sixth class, you were always comfortable starting the first year, even though you didn't realize, because you had some sort of idea of what it was. Now, obviously, that can't happen in college and school because every course is different. But the continuous assessment side of things should be in schools, so you know what you're doing. Like I remember my first assignment in DIT. It was an economics one, and I thought this was grand. And he was like, "Oh, you can write it or type it," and I was like, "Oh, it's grand. I'll just write it out." Like he was very lackadaisical. He was actually going towards retirement. Like he no longer cared. Like. But I wrote mine out, like, and I thought I was deadly, and I only got 50%. And I still remember that. I'm in college 100 years, and I still remember that. And I was like, he literally said we could do whatever, and this is the mark he gave me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if we would have had continuous assessment in school, maybe I would have been more experienced in how to do an assignment and how to make it a very good assignment. Like, and that took years for me to master. Like, and there's assignments that I submitted in my thesis, not in my thesis, in my master's, and like when I got the results, I was like, why didn't I get higher? Now I did very well, like don't get me wrong, but like some of them I thought like they were deadly.
Yeah.
I only got deadly mark, like so like you have to be taught all these things. And yes, in college there are workshops and stuff for that, but like I wasn't in a position to drive to Dublin just to go into for an hour workshop and drive home. Like
Yeah, that's the difference. I understand. Well, no, I don't really understand the fucking second level education. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Like it's literally just here's a memory test for 6 years.
yeah,
Because yes, there's some stuff, but if you're going to be doing assessments, like I get no, not everyone's going to college, and we've made that very apparent. Like, or for the people who are going, and giving someone an assessment is better than giving them homework, because
yeah,
if you give them an assignment, they have to go home and research that and make their
yeah,
own view on it. Where
yeah,
look, I know why it's like that. Money. Education is money. You have to buy the books. The books are being paid by a book company. Someone created that, and it's like it all goes into that. And I understand why it's not going to change. That's just that. But like to have a conversation open, it's going to like let people hear. And it was even when I was in the leaving center, like I didn't want to go to college, but like I knew the system was flawed because like people dropped out when like a fucking week had been up there because they didn't know
yeah,
what to do. Because I know I had a few teachers that kind of were radical when I was in school that would have taught in that way. So this is your assignment. You have to go home and research this. Now it would have been
yeah,
of like history or art because that's how you need to learn about it. Because no one wants to sit there and listen to their teacher shite on about someone
yeah,
700 years ago. You want your kids, you me, I've had them yet, students to be intrigued themselves and find, well, I really was really interested in that part of Miss Cabinet. So that's why I went in that lane of it. And this is what I found out. What do you think? Instead of,
yeah.
Josh, your homework tonight is you need to learn all of this, and I'm going to test you tomorrow, and I'm going to look for the exact date that person died and what his sister's name was.
And his fish's name as well. Yeah, no, like I have found like there's some topics that are really hard to teach in business because they're considered boring, like, and there are one or two that I find quite hard to teach. So being a new teacher now, you have to make it fun because if not, they're just going to lose interest. Like, and I've said it before, it takes 7 seconds to either catch someone's attention or lose it. Like, so I'm learning, like, I've learned so much in the last 2 years, and even though I was in the same school for 2 years, I've actually learned so many different things in the 2 years, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Every day is a learning day in my eyes, like.
Oh, definitely. Like someone coming from some of me, like obviously a lot of our family went to college and got degrees, and that's I think I'm the not just two of us. No, wait. I think there's yeah. I think there's only 4 or 5 of us that didn't go to college. Everyone else went to college, like we went to
Yeah.
their papers, their hats, and all of us kind of worked in manual labour or jobs and that kind of stuff. But there is a difference then as well. Like life does still work. I've worked for some very high paying companies. I've earned a lot of money over my time. I've spent a stupid amount of money, but I've also seen it well where like yous were all stuck in college for years. Like there's
and like
it's not be all and all.
Like, sorry, I completely interrupted you there. That was so rude. Sorry, but like you're saying, like you earn money, like, and people don't realize that when you go to college and you're working a part-time job, like you have pennies, like, and people are like, oh, you have this great big lifestyle in college. You're living off nothing, like literally living off nothing. Like, and this, like, I can say, like, this is probably my first year out of all my years in college. I was comfortable with money. And that was because I was working so much. I was working full-time and doing a full-time course.
That's what people don't get. Like, I suppose a lot of my old friends that were like in college and that kind of shit are like, oh, like they were jealous of my life because I didn't go to college and I moved away. And I had money and I was working and I could enjoy my life and I could go on holidays and whatnot. And
see, that's it. And like, that's the sacrifices that people in college had to make as well. Like, and I remember like, it being in college, and obviously I did level 6 because I insisted on going to Dublin, and then I had to do my level 8. And I remember there were people young, like in years younger than me in school, going on these like really good holidays, like Thailand and like all those really great places everybody wants to go. And I was like, how can they afford that? Like how are they able to afford that? I can't. Like, but the reality was, like, I spent more time in college.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only my last year of college, well, in the last 2 years, that I was actually in a position to make okay money and actually start saving money. Like, so there's sacrifices that I had to make. Like, but at the same time, people that like didn't go to college and went straight into work, like maybe they decided to work for a few years and then go back as a mature student, or just decide to work. Like, so I always think though, what's for you won't pass you as well. Like,
yeah, like I've always had the thing in my head that I go back to college as a mature student. I never wanted to go when I was younger because I didn't have a fucking clue. I still to this day don't. I want to work in media. I love YouTube videos. I love editing. I love camera work. I love lights. I love that. But I'm like, do I want that to be my job because that's my hobby?
See, that's it. Like,
I love interviewing people. From what I've been told, it's very comfortable to speak with me. Like, I'm that kind of person. I'm open. I'm charismatic. I can draw blood out of sound. If someone's been boring, you're like, come on, give me something. That kind of thing. But like, I never, college just wasn't something I ever thought about. Like, I was been pushed to fashion college. I was been pushed to art college. We're getting scholarships, all this. I was like, I'm not interested. I just don't want to do it. Like, it's not something that I want to do. But like, it's just, I think it's very strange the way it all works out in the end. Like, over the amount of years I've been away from home and out, I've learned so much, but also I've changed so much when you grow. Like, you probably remember me as a child. I was a completely different person than I was. Or even me at 18 when I lived at home to me now. Like, obviously, I know that's a long time ago.
Like, everybody changes. Like, and I think, like, your experience of moving away from home, like, to move away from home full time, but like me moving away just to go to college, like, definitely, I was always somebody who's independent, but it does change you, like, and that's all part of growing up as well. Like, and I love all my little cheesy quotes, but one that I've read before was like, if you're not changing, like, you're staying on the same page of a book. Like, and it's so true. Like, we all change. Like,
yeah, and it's healthy. Like, some people change for the worse, and some people change for the good. But like, even in our relationship has changed so much in this pandemic. Like, we were brilliant with each other, but there was shit we hadn't talked about, stuff that happened, and stuff you let go away, but it builds up. And have an argument, and then people do end up breaking up. But we spoke about a lot of that, and now have like a very open relationship where we talk about everything. Like, some of the time I'm just like, I just check him, and he's like, cool. Like, we're that open, and it's weird. Like, that kind of
pandemic is doing strange things to people in lockdown. It's okay. There's no judgment.
But like, that kind of situation, like, and I don't think I would have been that kind of person a very long time ago if I had went down the other route I was going. Like, So it's obviously, it's a learning curve, and life is that, and I'm happy that I'm in a place where I'm happy with myself for the first time in a very long time. Like,
really good.
yeah, like I haven't been happy. Look, I had a past of mental health issues, like between anxiety and depression. There's been breakdowns, there's been attempts and all that kind of shit. That's beyond the point. But it's the first time I'm about to turn 25. I'm comfortable. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I'm creating. I have never been this happy or this willing or creative. I've always been creative, but I've always stunted myself because I've stood in front of myself. So I think I think people need to be a little bit easier on themselves, especially like with the whole situation at the moment. It fucks your head, but like you're your own worst enemy. Like I know who my worst enemy is. It's my brain and it's my anxiety.
Yeah.
Like the fact
no, I completely agree.
Drunk, like that's
okay. Like I found like the weeks that I wasn't really moving, and like I know I'm not moving because obviously I'm someone who wears a fitness tracker watch. Like I found the weeks that I wasn't moving like were the weeks that I'd be very, very down, or the weeks I wasn't sleeping enough, I'd be very down. But obviously, like I would have been someone in the past that suffered very badly with anxiety, but as I've gotten older, I've learned to deal with it, whatever. But I think as you get older, you learn to deal with things better anyhow. So when the pandemic hit, and obviously you're in your house like 24/7, and nobody in this world has spent that much time in their own home, like, and all together. So like you learn so much, and you kind of have to learn like when you need to maybe take a step out and check yourself as well, like, because maybe you're the one that's, you know, in the bad mood or whatever. So yeah, it's about learning to kind of being used to I can't even talk. Oh my God. It's about learning to stay in the one spot and like sit there comfortably. Like,
yeah, it's like you can't be good to others, I think, if you can't be good to yourself. I
completely agree.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I think you used to do that as well, and I think you still do. But I remember when I lived at home, I was always worrying about someone else, and I was always helping someone else. And I never took time to look in myself. And I suppose that's what I spent a lot of this doing. And it's been very beautiful because I never had that time to sit down and think about little old Stephen and fucking deal with the shit going on in his head, trying to fix everyone else.
Yeah.
So I think people need to be a little bit easier on themselves because, you know, and on everyone else, because no one fucking knows what's going on in someone else's head. Like,
that's it. Like, and
a lot.
Like, I think the Black Lives Movement like was a really big kick of reality for a lot of people, including myself. Like, and it's something that we're all trying to educate and learn about. Like, we're trying to educate ourselves, but like stuff like that going on, and you said you were going to talk about a different stage, but like, and even the pandemic itself, like, you know, for it to make so many people sick and unfortunately so many people die, like, and like it was a hard reality we were all hit with, like, so we had to take a step out of reality and check ourselves, like. So no, it is, I completely agree that it's so important to do that.
Oh, definitely. Like, there will be a link for a fundraiser or donation thing in the description of this video. Look, if you follow me on any social medias, you know, I'm retweeting and putting stuff in stories.
Yeah.
But you know, like, even that whole end of that, like, people, like, I've had conversations with Mum and Dad and William, and like, obviously, history is something that I've always loved, and it's been a big thing that, like, that was one thing me and Daddy did have in common because I don't like sport. I was like talking a lot about it, and he was like, "Yeah, but I hope you're taking yourself away from it as well." Because at the start I wasn't, and I got very down on myself the first week.
Yeah.
And then I needed to switch off, and I wasn't. Because obviously, like, working online, like doing this, like, you're constantly online, you're constantly talking to people, trying to do something, and okay, what's that? What if I did something like that? That's literally what this is. That's why people, I suppose, don't understand, like, when people are bloggers or Instagram, it is a 24/7 hour job because you need to be on 24/7 because you're replying to people that like, no, I'm not some famous person at the moment, but I am putting a lot of work in behind the scenes of what I'm doing. Like, I'm not out here to do this to make myself rich and famous. If that happens as a byproduct, that's brilliant. Who doesn't want money? Who doesn't want people following them? It's unfortunate the world's gone. But as I said to Mom, she's like, "Oh, why are you doing that video?" I was like, "Well, maybe as because I've watched people, like the video I'm on about is my chronic pain. It's coming up next week. I haven't talked about that publicly. I haven't talked that to you or anyone else in my family.
Yeah.
I fucked up my back 3.5 years ago. Couldn't walk for it. And I have had pain and issues ever since, every day. But I was like, well, what if there is someone at home that's having a really bad day and they watch that video and it's like, oh, someone else is like that, and it makes them happy.
Yeah.
To do this and like these kind of chats. Obviously, I get to catch up with people, and it's like, oh, remember we used to be friends, but we're friends again. There is a motive for me in it as well. But like it's that kind of thing. Like I do these videos. It is like there is my motive behind it. Look, would I like some money? Yeah, of course I would. But sure, wouldn't we all? That's
don't forget me now when you go big, like, because teacher salaries aren't great, like especially when you're not paid during summer.
William keeps saying that. He's like, oh, he actually had his interview yesterday.
Oh, I may text him.
Yeah, I may too. Fucking brother. Told me about that. No, but like it's all. I think it's a crazy time. I think it probably will happen at some point in the future again. Obviously, hopefully not in our lifetime. But this is something I think that has stopped the world, and it's made it have a look in itself introspectively.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it as well. A really good way of putting it. No, I absolutely agree. Like, and like if you would have asked me to do this, like maybe when I was like during the old normal times, and I was working and doing everything, like I probably would have said yes, but it probably would have taken 6 weeks for it to happen. Like, and I would have always had it in the back of my head, like, have to do this with Stephen, have to do this with Stephen, but something would always come up. Whereas I've had the perfect opportunity. Like when you text me, I was like, literally, I'm free, like whenever you want, whenever you want. Like, so yeah, no, I completely agree. Like it has just kind of showed me like you need to take a step down every so often as well. And it's been great. Like I've enjoyed doing nothing as well. Like I've read a book in 2 days, which I've only got to do in the last 2 years on holidays. Like before that, I just completely stopped reading. So like silver lining.
Oh, definitely there is. That's why I always look at it. Like I'm not in any way fucking religious or anything. That I'm more into energy and all that kind of stuff. But like I think people like I love going out conspiracy theory, and I'm like, oh, it's the government out just to do this. Like, yeah, there's probably shit happening, and if you look at America, there's a fucking lot of stuff. You should definitely watch the Jeffrey Epstein thing on Netflix. It's fucked up.
I don't like looking at that stuff. It makes me really angry.
Oh yeah, no, it makes me so angry. I'm a strange person. Well, you know, it's I don't know. Life is very weird at the moment, but also brilliant. And I suppose
you actually put that really well. Yeah, no, I agree. It's very weird, but it's brilliant, and it's very tough, but it's brilliant.
And I even find, as I mentioned earlier about friendships, I suppose I went through this with Helena recently. I was like, oh, does she still want to be my friend? But like, I also need to remember that like all my friends are grown up. Most of us are in relationships. So they're not going to reply straight away, or probably will forget to reply. And no, they don't hate you, Stephen. You're just a fucking exile.
Yeah. And like I have found, like I amn't replying to messages as quick as I would have, or I may forget to reply to a message, which wouldn't be like me at all. But when I realized, I'm like, oh my god, how rude. Then I'm like, they actually don't care. Like I just genuinely forgot, like, or I haven't been on my phone. I actually put my phone down now. So it's a learning curve. I kind of put my phone down. I don't like. Some days I'm stuck to it, like.
Yeah, no, I need to introduce that in my life. I just need to go away from social media, and not even just that, just away from technology, because my life revolves so much around it and what I do, like, and just go outside for that walk. Obviously, I can bring it for the podcast, or whatever, but like, if I'm going on that, like, switch off everything else, just listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, unplugging, as a lot of people do, is something you should do. Like, I know I have friends, a lot of people on Facebook in the last last 4 weeks, and same on Twitter. It's like, bye, don't need you in my life. And it's a lot of people down at home, like, I mean, people up here, it's like, I don't agree with your views, bye.
But like, that's the thing, like, everyone's friends on Facebook, like, but would you actually say hello to the person if you've seen them in the street, like? You see, like, then you don't need to be friends with them on Facebook. They don't need to see what's going on in your life. When really we don't put anything on Facebook. Like, my Facebook's very boring, but like, you know, I did a big clean out on Instagram, and like, God, it wasn't any hate or anything, but I was like, I don't talk to you, like, you don't talk to me, so why are you looking at my pictures? And you're probably not even looking at my pictures, like, probably not even giving me a like.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Instagram, the fact that the likes are gone. Like, and I remember like thinking at the time, oh, that's a great idea. But since it's happened, I don't even look at my likes now when I put up a picture. Like, I just put them up as they are my little boxes of memories.
Yeah. Now I do, because obviously it's a different, I'm trying to see like how much reach I got and that kind of thing. It's not all about the numbers, like how many likes I got, but I'm looking at how many people seen it. Obviously, especially with the drag stuff I'm doing, like obviously I'm trying to build something there, and it's something I love, and getting into the makeup, like that, and like that's something I would never have done before. It's something I've always wanted to do, but of course it's on the way. I'm looking to buy new shoes at the moment. I've wigs. Yeah. I've probably as much makeup as you fucking have, or maybe more.
Actually, you have to bring me to the George when this is all over, because I've never been. And when I was in DIT and used to walk past it, I was always like, oh, I'd love to go there, like, would really like to go there. And we never went. And it's just that we never went. And like, we always said that me and Lena'd go, and whoever else wants to go, but I'm going when this is over. I've always wanted to go, like.
Oh, like, it's one of the best places ever. Like, it's not the best gay bar, like, it's a nightclub, and all the young gays go in there, and they're like, who's she? I'm like, yeah, I put a bit of fucking weight on, got an issue. Come here, a 21-year-old skinny drink.
I know, we definitely, like, it'd be a great crack. Or like, if there's gay bars that you know that are fun, like, I love I love my little old man pub at home, but I love going out into those kind of things, so I learn, like, having new experiences.
Oh, definitely. I think I need to bring all my family to a drag show. Don't know if my dad will go.
I really want to go to one, so make sure you invite me to one. I'm going. Actually, I'm inviting myself. I'm going to the next one you go to.
Oh, definitely. Like, it's even like my birthday's coming up at the end of.
It's next week, Stephen.
Yeah, next week then. Stop reminding me. And like, it was something I was gonna do. I was gonna get yourself to come to Dublin, then the fucking world tried.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna come home. But like, that is something, like, his drag is something I love so much. It is gonna be different how it's all gonna work now. But you know, I'm so happy that I did take the plunge, because it's something I've always said to Killian, and Mammy always knew that I wanted to do drag, and she was like, just do it. And I was always afraid, you know, going and people.
I wouldn't work. Like, I literally, like, would not care. Like, the more people that would, like, if it was me, like, the more people that would hate me, because you'd still get the views.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
that's the whole point.
No problem.
Like, oh, you hate me, well, you still liked it, but you still watched all of it.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter. Like, no, like, it's great that you're doing it. Like,
oh no, I'm like really excited. Like, there has been like shows that I could have got involved with, but I'm that kind of person. Like, I only have wigs and makeup. I don't have any of my clothes yet, or my shoes. And like, I used to dance. I've done 2 or 3 charity strictlies over the years. Like, and obviously would have been on stage. So like, theatre and that kind of stuff is something that's really close to my heart. So if I'm going to do it, I want to do it properly. So like, I want to learn a song. I want to learn a dance. So like, I'm very particular that way. But yeah, no. Yeah,
but it'd be worth it, like, because when you have put all the hard work in, then like, you'd be so proud of yourself.
Like. Oh, definitely. Like, I'm definitely terrified if I know I'm going to go through all this, to get up on a stage again, because it's been fucking years. And the last time I was on a stage in the George, I did 3 fucking cartwheels because I was drunk, and it was showing a talent. Like, that's so funny. Do that, but like, I'm now thinking about, like, what have I performed? And like, Stephen, you love performing. You fucking love it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all very strange. Look, it's been very enjoyable. April, we've kind of covered
so much fun.
Definitely was. Look, as I say every week to everyone that's been on here, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being so open. It is obviously like an hour and a half out of your day, but it also makes you stop thinking. But it also makes you think about other things, because you're having an open conversation, where maybe this conversation would never have happened between the two of us if I hadn't been doing this. Like, obviously we do chat, but as I say,
it's been so much fun. It's like old times when we were small.
And the world wasn't terrible, and we didn't have to pay for everything.
I know, but it's okay.
Adults. Look, guys, if you have enjoyed this, don't forget to check back in. Look, these usually go up every week or every other week. It depends on how many I've recorded. I'm trying to get better. You know, we all have our off weeks. If April wants any of her social links, I will put them down below. We'll have that chat after. But thanks for checking in. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you want to share this on your Facebook, your Twitter, whichever fucking platform people are using now. Definitely on Facebook. Like and
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Share on your TikTok. All my stuff like that will be linked down below. Thanks for checking back in, and we will see you next week with a different guest. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.